Australia. It was founded in 1829 as the Swan River Colony by Great Britain. It was then given the name Perth after Perth, Scotland. In 1850, a bunch of convicts were shipped there, which increased the population size. In 1890, gold was discovered, which also increased the population size. Now, it has 1.6 million people, which is relatively small for a capital city. It is also relatively new, which adds to the modern architecture. Perth has a very cosmopolitan feel since so many of its people were immigrants. In fact, only half of the Perth people were even born in Australia. The people immigrated from Southeast Asia and from Africa. Perth has a very laid-back feel, and it's also not very crowded. It's really sunny and hot there, so you're going to want to bring a hat. I came here in the spring, which is the best time to see Perth. That's from September to November. It took 33 hours for me to fly here from my home in Cincinnati, with connections in Los Angeles and Sydney. One thing you should know about Perth before you go there is the parts of the city. There's Fremantle, Northbridge, the coast, and the city itself. Perth, Australia has tons of bike trails. So on the first day here, my friends and I decided to take one of them down to the beach. Perth, Australia is a relatively small town, so its beaches are uncrowded. It's located on the western side of Australia, so it looks out to the Indian Ocean.
Me and my gang, we live to ride, we ride to live. Me and my gang.
There are hundreds of places to eat at in Perth, Australia, so today I've decided to go check them all out. There are two main places to go, Northbridge and Fremantle. Northbridge is known for its Southern European and Asian-style restaurants. Fremantle is known for its vegetarian and health-conscious choices. In both areas, live indie music bands play at almost all of the restaurants. My friend and I went down to Fisherman's Wharf and ordered fish and chips at one of the local restaurants. This is a very popular thing to do while in Fremantle. Other popular foods to eat while in Perth are crawfish and chili mussels.
To tear us apart, it's clear now. I know you're gonna leave me.
On the third day, me and my friends go to check out the Cappuccino Strip in Fremantle. The Cappuccino Strip in Fremantle in Perth, Australia is known internationally. It's basically just a strip of coffee shops where people can go and get coffee for all tastes and budgets. On other streets near it, there's also little cafes where you can go and get food after you're done with your coffee. After coffee, I take the train to go see the Swan River. Other than the car that I've rented, my main form of transportation is going to be by public transportation. Transperth is provided for trains that run on tracks like these, as well as buses. My next adventure takes me to the Swan River. The Swan River runs straight through Perth, so it's a popular tourist attraction for many people. If you go up the Swan River, you'll reach an area called the Hills, where there's great wine tasting for many of the tourists. Australia is famous for its wildlife, so on my fourth day here, I decided to drive the car that I rented up to one of the many places I can see kangaroos. Australia is known for its kangaroos. The zoo even has a separate section where the visitors can see them up close because they can hop across the path. I, however, have come to Valley Memorial Park, which is technically a cemetery, but it doesn't look like one since it's not European style. And the kangaroos like to come here, and they can hop around and eat in the wild. Oh look, I think I see one right now! Okay, cool. Perth has plenty of parks, so I decided to spend my fifth day at one of them. I'm here in Kings Park in Perth, Australia. Kings Park is a place in the middle of the city of Perth, Australia, where there are grassy areas and ponds. People come here for a walk in the park or for a picnic. It is especially famous for its wildflower gardens that grow beautifully in the spring. The people who designed the botanical gardens at Kings Park decided to focus on local plants. Most of these local plants cannot be found anywhere else on Earth besides in Western Australia. The gardens feature 3,000 of the 12,000 species of plants found in Western Australia. Perth has very unique architecture, so I have spent a day checking it out. This building is called the Bell Tower and is probably one of the most famous buildings in Western Australia. It is the home of the Swan Bells and it has a very unique design. It has become an icon for all of Western Australia. All of this modern architecture is due to the fact that Perth is a relatively new city. It was not around when the other cities in Australia got their old-time feel. However, the architects that built Perth also made part of the city in Tudor style, even though the city was not around during that time. My final day in Perth, I take a day trip to Rottnest Island. Rottnest Island is a nature reserve off the coast of Perth, Australia. You have to get there by boat since cars are not allowed on the island. People walk and bike along its many nature trails looking out for wildlife. I'm here looking for the famous quokka, as well as whales and dolphins off the coast. The quokka are known as the happiest animals in the world. I saw some of them there on my day trip, as well as some bottlenose dolphins. I loved my trip to Perth, and I hope that you can come here sometime too.